was Wednesday, I think, right? Hold on. Wednesday. Yeah, so today's Wednesday. And I'm just watching a training video on YouTube. Just changed the camera. Was not happy with that D750, so did some changes. So sent back one lens, the other one is being fixed, and the new one is coming tomorrow. This camera went down in price, so now it's a good time, and they allowed me just to pay a bit extra and give them back the older camera that I bought with like just over 4 weeks ago, right? But because this one is more money, the store said, okay, we'll give you, and plus I bought the expensive extra warranty, and so we just slapped, like, they really like it when you buy extra warranty, you know, because it's kind of like insurance, right? But they like it, you know. But I said, yeah, I don't want to return it, you know, I want to buy a better camera. And they didn't have it in stock, and so they said we get shipments from our warehouse in Toronto 3 times a week, and one of them is Wednesday. And I was talking to the guy yesterday, Tuesday, and he says, well, it might be here Wednesday, it might be here Friday. And I was hoping it would be here today because I want to find the load. And so I called him today. I said, hey guys, do you have my new camera? The guy says, yeah, it's here. So I drove up there. It's like 20 minutes away from me in my dirty Mustang. It was so dusty I had to wash it, you know, because it's been sitting in the dirt lot, and there's been lots of wind. And so yeah, this is the one I had before, the one I took to Russia. I really love this camera. So this will be used for trucking pictures, automotive pictures, landscapes, and street photography. So, you know, I can use my phone, but, you know, when I want to put pictures of my loads and my truck, like something nice and sharp and, you know, high resolution, I want to use a good camera, so put them on my gallery, SERGEI-DRATCHEV.pixels.com, and then you guys can get, you know, frames. You can order t-shirts, bath towels, bags, phone cases, blankets, you know, just mugs. So far from that website, I sold 2 small prints, like, in, you know, 2 framed prints, 1 t-shirt, and 1 mug. So, but it's all fun. Anyway, about trucking. So I was very not happy with Quebec, because I had to drive empty 1,100 kilometers, which is about 660 miles from that Chicoutimi, Quebec, back home to Cambridge. And I'm at a hotel in Cambridge, Ontario. And there was a load in Montreal, and I mentioned this on my on the Facebook. There was a pretty heavy machine, pretty big excavator, but just going pretty much the same way, you know, from Montreal towards Mississauga, Ontario. And I gave them a rate. I gave them a decent rate, and they kind of like laugh at me. Oh, that's too high. You know, the guy got a quote, but they never said they moved it. They just said they got a quote, and that quote was, like I said, $5,000 Canadian. They said 2,700 Canadian. So when people do something like that, I'll go empty. You know, I don't care. I go empty. My fuel mileage is 7 miles a gallon. You know, if I load this stuff, it'll be 3.5 miles a gallon. You know, because it's a pretty big machine, and then you need permits. Like, I'm covered in Ontario, but Quebec, I would need a permit, right? So anyway, screw this, like these cheap brokers, you know, cheap freight. So anyway, I came down here and decided, you know, I've been working hard recently, right? And I did good in May. Made a bunch of money, even though I only did 4 trips. That's what I like about this business, you know. You do You do you do one trip a week. It's pretty much just like one guy said once, like a Landstar broker. I asked her, I said, so what's the perfect trailer? And I said, step deck or double drop or RGN. Back then I had no idea what the difference was between RGN and double drop. Like now I know exactly what it is. And so this lady says, she was curious herself, and she asked the guy that she works with, a BCO, an owner operator, and he has both. He has a step deck and he has a double drop, and he said it was all the same money. When he looks at the end of the year, it's the same money, even though of course rates for double drop and RGN are higher because of the more expensive equipment, higher costs, permits, escorts, tolls, you name it. Basically, you need to be more qualified, right, to deal with 80 or 90,000 pound load. It's just more demanding, right? So the rates are higher, right? But it takes you a week or 2 weeks to move one load, because especially if you're super heavy, you have to sit for a long time. And so this guy discovered that, with the step deck, his rates were lower, but he was moving much more loads, So it's the same rate. So guys, I know a lot of people are asking me about, gross and how much money I'm making. It's the same money. It's all the same money, except the only good thing about my setup is that I don't have to work as hard as a step deck or flatbed guy, okay? I move one load, whereas the step deck guy is doing 5 loads, So that's the only thing that's cool about this heavy haul, okay? We all end up making the same money, it just, some people, have to rush, and some people can relax, But of course, my bills are through the roof. My truck, my insurance, they just jerked up the rate by 800 Canadian a month. And I'm like, why? Where's my statement? Why did my annual premium jump up like that? Oh, you have a new truck. I said, well, I want to see how much you added for the new truck, because this truck is much more money than the previous truck, right? So anyway. Don't get me started on these expenses. Expenses are high, so I don't think you can become a millionaire in this unless you're a freight broker and you have 10 guys like me working for you. Maybe then, but the actual heavy haul guy, I don't know. You can buy some toys, right? You can buy toys like this, you can have a computer, stuff like that. You can have a car, but that's about it, And one more thing, what I wanted to say is that, so about trucking. So I took only 1 day off. I relaxed, I was researching these cameras, lenses. Basically, I got away from trucking for 1 day, and then I dived right in and I started calling and emailing people about loads. And talked to a bunch of people, and pretty much sent 2 agreements. I already signed. No, okay, let me just quickly mention one guy. One guy had a heavy machine, and I just love this heavy stuff, Doc, this is heavy. From Back to the Future, right? Why is everything so heavy? But that's the loads I like, I know them, I work with them. I don't have to worry about the road clearance, to clear my trailer, right? And so this guy had a big machine, Northern Ontario, going to the port in Maryland, and everything's cool. We agree on a rate. It's not, not the best rate I could get, but it's okay. And then basically we're ready to go, and then the guy says, okay, give me your MC number. And I give him my MC number, and he says, sorry, there's a problem. I'm like, what problem? Well, your MC is less than 12 months old. And this is the first time ever I run into this, you know, like usually people will tell you when you are registering your own authority, people will tell you that it's very hard to get loads during the first 3 months or 6 months, whatever, but that has not been my experience at all. Like, this is the first guy, and my MC now I think is about 10 months old, so it's gonna be a year, you know, I don't know, July, probably August, because I started registering this all last summer, right? And then it took me to October to get everything ready. So my MC number is not exactly like 3 months, you know, old, and this guy now gives me this, and so yeah, I couldn't do that load. Anyway, then I found another one. This guy has something going, you know, and that's what I'm trying to look for. Like I was mentioning, I think in a couple of previous videos, it's always best to stay close, you know, to a home area. Forget all these 2,000 miles, 1,000 miles, you know, there's no money there. And so this guy I found, he has some, I think it's an excavator, also pretty heavy, I think like 88,000 pounds, you know. We agree on a rate, I send them a confirmation, and then that was in the morning. But this one only loads Monday, June 4th. You know, I was hoping to get something sooner, and it's never good, you know, when they put a date in the future. My experience has been that the shipper is not sure when they're gonna ship, you know. Oh, it's gonna be ready. Oh yeah, and then they will, you know, on the 4th they'll say, oh well, we're gonna wait a little, you know. I really don't like it, you know, when I see a load, let's say today is May 30th, right? And I look at the load board and the load says shipping June 15th. I don't like it, you know, like, because they always change the date. It's like I said, it's when they put a future date, it just means that the load is not ready, and they have no clue when it's going to be ready. But anyway, so this guy says Monday. Okay, Monday. So we signed the agreement. I said, okay, where's my rate confirmation? Oh, well, they're still trying to figure out some details in there, so I cannot send you the rate confirmation. And that has been whole day today. I've been waiting for this guy to send me the agreement is signed between the broker and the carrier, but no dispatch sheet, aka rate confirmation. And so I started looking for another load. I thought, hey, you know, if this guy, you know, is basically probably won't be ready Monday, might as well find something for Friday. And my phone rings, and the guy from Oregon says, oh, do you have any trucks in the Niagara Falls area? And I said, well, what do you have in mind? And he says, for Saturday, power only, so truck only. I said, Saturday? Okay. And he says, you know, weekends, that always the rate should be higher, right? Like, he says, well, you gotta go to Niagara Falls, pick up a drive-in trailer with 40,000 pounds of racing cars and equipment inside, and move it about 10 miles, and you gotta be there at exactly 4:45, and you're gonna deliver the trailer at exactly 5 o'clock. I said, okay. I said, Niagara Falls, it's 75 miles from me. Wait, 80 miles. It's 80 miles from me. So 80 miles that way, load, you know, unload, wait. And then he didn't tell me anything about like bringing the trailer back. Like, I understand it's going for the race, right? Or where is it going? But anyway, he was only saying that I gotta drive 80 miles, pick up the trailer. But of course, for me, you know, I start thinking right away, like, Jesus, I hate dropping my trailer because I like, you know, all these hoses, and it's not like a regular trailer. It takes a long time, you know. Well, not a long time, but it's a hassle, you know. I don't like dropping it. So if I'm dropping it, I'm not gonna do a cheap load. You can be sure of that. And so the guy says, so 10 miles from Niagara Falls, in the same Niagara Falls, Ontario, drive-in trailer, $40,000, 40,000 pounds. I said, well, $1,000. No, I said, so what do you have in mind? The guy says, well, 10 miles, we were thinking $500. I said, $500? On a Saturday, you want me to drive 80 miles one way and then 80 miles back? I said, no. I said, 1,000 miles, $1,000. And the guy says, oh, well, that's too much. Then I look at my calculator. I said, okay, how about this? $1,000 Canadian, which is for you, gentleman from Oregon, it's $800, right? So how about that? So from 500 we go to 800. Can you do 800? It's like an auction, you know. Do we have 700? Do we have 750? Do we have 800? You know. And that's the process. So the process is brokers always try to get as low rate as possible, and carriers, of course, try to get a decent rate. Like, and I'm not quoting the guy like, you know, 10,000 or 20,000, something crazy like that. I'm just thinking about my expenses, how much time, like, you know, how much effort I need to spend, like, you know, on hooking all these hoses, dropping the trailer, driving down there in this huge truck, you know, burning fuel. You know, my time is available, right? So it's like half a day. You will waste half a day. And so I talked to a broker, a friend of mine, who I said, what do you think? Is this a reasonable rate? The guy says, yeah, you know, it's a reasonable rate. Even for a driving truck, I mean, like a regular truck. If I had a regular truck, it's a reasonable rate, you know. It doesn't matter that it's 10 miles because I'm not there. I have to drive, you know, 1.5 hours down there, right? And Saturdays are, you know, very busy usually because lots of people go to and from the border. And Niagara Falls, Ontario, is right on the way to the border with the US and Buffalo. So anyway, the guy said, okay, I'll talk to the customer about 800 US. So he never called me back. And then I saw another load. Just says 34 feet long, 11.5 wide, you know, 12 feet tall, 88,000 pounds. My kind of load, you know. Like I said, I'm crazy. I like heavy loads. No, but you know, one reason, I'll give you one reason. One reason is that with heavy loads, there's less competition because most guys just buy a 35-ton trailer and they have 2 axles on the truck, you know. Okay, 3. So they cannot do anything over 70,000 pounds. So as soon as I see 75, you know, 72, 80, 90, I know that there's less competition, so I can ask for more money. And that's kind of like my specialty. So my specialty, I find, is above these 35-ton guys, right? And so I usually ignore listings that say DD, double drop, because usually that's exactly what they mean. Double drop, like 3 decks, you know, long well, and like a 35-ton, you know. Mine is usually, it says either RGN, removable gooseneck, or LB, low boy. Those are like my loads, you know. Where they know that you have a gooseneck, you don't have a deck in the front. So anyway, so this guy post this load, right? I think it was a lady. A lady post this load and no description. What is it? I call him and she says, "Oh, it's a snow plow." Let me say that again. Snow plow. I said, snow plow? 88,000 pounds. What kind of a crazy snow plow is that? But she said snow plow, you know. I said, can I, you know, send a picture of my trailer to somebody so that you guys, because, you know, snow plow right away, I think it's on the base of a truck. But of course, you know, if it's on the truck, it cannot be 88,000 pounds. That's crazy. If it's like a regular snow plow, you know, it's, I don't know, 20, 30,000 pounds, you know. But my concern right away is that if it's a truck-based machine, then I need to know the road clearance, right? Because of my D-rings on top of the main beams, I need to know. That's why I always like to deal with stuff I did before, you know, like wheel loaders, excavators, big dozers, because I know I won't have any trouble loading them, right? And so I stopped talking to this lady. I said, okay, do you have any dimensions? You know, like, how do I get more information? Will it work on my trailer? And she says, well, I'm just helping out the broker. So basically she's like in the reception, you know. She says, I'll give you the email address and you can send your info to this lady. And so I send a picture of my trailer, you know, like of my drop side rail center. And I said, will this work? And what is it? And she says, it's not a snow plow. It's kind of like a farm plow. So it's pretty much, she gives me she says, I don't have the dimensions and the guy already left for the day in Ontario. The shipper, here's the make and model. Can you look it up on the web? I said, okay, no problem. And I look at it, and it's pretty much exactly the same stuff I just picked up, that huge yellow machine I took to New York, you know? Except this one, like, identical, you know, identical, huge, massive engine compartment, right? Tracks, a small cab, and a boom in the front with an attachment. And like this machine, I found a bunch of videos on YouTube where this machine was actually plowing the, you know, farmland. I never saw such a huge machine, you know, plowing. Like, they use farm tractors for that, right? But anyway, so I guess if the guy wants to plow like, I don't know, 10 feet deep, that's the machine. And it's probably old, because I don't think they make them anymore. But actually, that manufacturer is like still current. It's called Wolf, WOLFE, Wolf. If you look up Wolf, Wolf plows, I think, Wolf plows. So it's not a snow plow; it's an actual plow, you know, with like a very interesting machine, you know. The lady didn't want to pay too much, but it's still okay because it's only going into like 2 states over. You know, that's what I like. Like, I want to stay within, I don't know, maybe 3 states from Ontario, right? Let's say Ontario, New York, Pennsylvania, Maryland. You know, okay, 4, right? Or Ontario, Michigan, Indiana. You know, okay, maybe Illinois, right? So that's my kind of area. And so this goes in the perfect area. And if I don't find a load, I can go back easy, you know, empty. And the trick is, when you negotiate with these brokers, right? Let's say I want to get, let's just keep it simple. Let's say the broker says, you know, $2,000, right? And I know that I want to get 3,000. But if I ask her for 3,000, she'll say, okay, how about 2,350? You know, so you always ask them for more money than you want, right? That's the trick, and that's the game. Kind of like, you know, any negotiation, right? So she says 2,000, I say 3,500, and then she says, the maximum I can do is 3,000. Well, these are not the actual numbers, but that's kind of like the idea. And where I learned this, I didn't actually learn it in trucking, because I only recently started doing this, right? Started bidding and negotiating. But I learned this on this kind of like what you guys in the States have, Craigslist, and we here in Canada have Kijiji. Kijiji.com. It's like free online ads. And the same stuff. When you try to sell something, you cannot put the real price that you want. You always have to put a higher price. But anyway, so it's just kind of like interesting, you know. You really have to be into psychology and how to negotiate with people. So it's basically what I'm doing now is so much more than just driving or even loading, you know, like a big part. And actually I like it very much because I did not see this part before, you know, when I was an owner operator. And now I deal with brokers, I do negotiations, you know, I deal with paperwork. So I'm the boss, you know, I like it. And I keep all the money. That's another big part. Like, whatever I negotiate, there's no percentage, it's all my money, right? If we say $3 million, I keep $3 million, you know? Well, I wish there would be loads that pay $3 million. Then probably I could do like 1 load a year and go on a long vacation. But unfortunately, brokers and shippers are not that easy, right? You have to fight. You have to fight for your money. So anyway, so basically I'm booking 2 loads, right? But the first one for Monday basically disappeared. The agreement is signed, but the rate confirmation, I don't have the rate confirmation, so that means that my truck is not booked as far as I'm concerned. So I booked this lady, and I would pick it up tomorrow, but you see my camera, I don't have a lens, right? Because I sent that bad one, the Tamron, I sent back to Amazon for a refund, and my 24 millimeter is in service at Nikon in Mississauga, and I have no clue when it's gonna be ready, and so I need at least one lens, right? And so I did my research and I found a lens for $135 US or 168 Canadian, and they say it's perfect for this camera. You know, it's like Nikon 50mm 1FD. Very cool looking lens, like 20 years old. They still make it, but anyway, so I got it from Amazon Canada and chose 1-day shipping, but it's coming tomorrow. You know, and I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave without the lens. And so I told this lady, I said, okay, if I pick up this plow trencher Friday? She says, yeah, they just want it to be delivered Monday. And so this would work perfect, because I'm pretty sure the first guy will postpone, since he didn't have the rate confirmation. If he doesn't postpone, I'll just say, hey, you didn't get back to me yesterday. No, the truck gotta move, right? I don't make money if I sit. So I booked another load. It's a short run, you know, like 340 miles. I'll be back, you know, probably Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'll do that load. So, you know, so that's the plan. So I'm to relax till Friday, and Friday I'm loading. She didn't send me the rate confirmation yet either. She sent me an email. I had to leave the office, and she's in Oregon, so the time there is like 2 hours back, I think, right? But she says, I'll make sure I'll send you the rate confirmation in the morning. So at least this lady has no problem, you know, like there's no delays. She's not waiting for anybody, so everything is cool. And so I think I'm doing this load. I'm doing this big plow trencher, which was at first identified as a snow plow. And again, I looked at videos, and the booklet I downloaded does not show the clearance, but it's big and heavy, so I'm pretty sure it's going to work on my trailer. And so that's going to be my load number 10, I think. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, if I'm lucky, if that guy does not cancel on me, I'll do that the other big machine. So I'll go back probably to Ontario, just so that he doesn't wait and he doesn't get, you know, too upset with me, because, you know, I did promise him my truck, right? And so I might go empty back to Ontario, pick up that stuff, and that one goes to, I think Pennsylvania or Maryland. I forgot. Somewhere there, like somewhere straight south of Buffalo. So, but yeah, so that's what's happening. So lots of loads now from here. You see, there's nothing in Quebec, and I removed QC from all my searches. Now I don't want to see Quebec loads. And a funny thing happened, you know, I was so frustrated when I was leaving that toll booth in Montreal on R30, Autoroute 30. I paid the guy the toll, and I said, I'm not coming back. Okay, I am not ever coming back. And he looks at me. I said, that's it. I made the promise. So no more Quebec. Thanks for watching.